Another feature of the S60 Touch that I want to show you is what you can do with the menu button. If you long press the menu button, it'll bring up a list of actively running applications. So you can see the web browser there for the search results. Do it again, and I can jump over to, say, the Telenav navigation application, which comes pre-installed. I'm going to show you another text input method. You can use an on-screen handwriting recognition system. So I'm going to use some right to left swipes to erase some characters. Then I'm going to use my finger to write a new word. A, add a space, new, a new word. Works pretty well. Let's take a look at some of the applications that come pre-installed on the Neuron. You can see some of that unusual scrolling that I was talking about. It's one of the problems is Nokia has not been consistent with how they handle scrolling. You can see in some of the menus it scrolls by grabbing the screen and moving it, but here it doesn't. It's very, very counterintuitive at times. In any case, you can see we've got Shazam for identifying music, Real Player, some other applications. Here's games. Most of those are probably going to be trials, I'm sure. Here's the instant messaging client. You'll also notice that it's one tap versus two taps. Unlike some of the menus where you tap the first time to select and the second time to activate it, in that menu, one tap activated everything. That's really the problem with S60 Touch in terms of the user interface. It's just a lack of consistency. In any case, you can see we've got instant messaging support for AIM, Windows Live Messenger, Yahoo Messenger, Google Talk, and MySpace IM, something I have to admit to have never having heard of before. Let's pull up Nokia Maps. And let's just tell it to find my position. There you can see it's activating the GPS, has a previous location. Looks like in Washington, D.C. Here we go. Now we're into Morrisville, which is the general area where I am. Pretty decent application, Nokia Maps is. Here's the Office folder inside Applications. You can see we've got the Calendar, Notes, Calculator, Dictionary, and then File Manager for navigating through memory card or the built-in storage space. Looks like we have an Iron Man trailer.
Could we pick up now where we left off? Mr. Stark, please.
Yes, dear.
Can I have your attention?
Absolutely.
Our priority here is to have you turn over the Iron Man weapon to the...
Take a quick look at how you can personalize the home screen. You can change the shortcut applications. You can see these are what we have on the home screen right now, and you can easily change them to be something else. I could pick a bookmark out of the web browser, but I'm going to just pick a different application, and just for the sake of testing it, use Converter. And we go back to the home screen. You'll see that the Converter application is now on the shortcut bar. I'm going to pull up the messaging app from the home screen here. See if it goes into landscape mode. It does. This is an inbox just for text messaging. There's a couple of T-Mobile messages sitting on the SIM card. Create a new mailbox. Looks like we've completed it, and now we're going to connect and hopefully download some messages. Another issue with S60 that always bothers me is connection management. You've seen a number of times in the video so far how it's asked me which connection to use. Considering there's really only one data source on this phone, the wireless data, it's hard to imagine why it has to keep asking. And there you can see we have some new messages. Pop back to the home screen. Hopefully you'll see the new notification showing we have messages. We'll go back into the Gmail account. You can see the nice interface here. Sorts them based on time. Messages I had yesterday versus the ones got today. Let's just tap on one of these messages, take a look at it. Message from Facebook. You can see how it's trying to select when I'm dragging my thumb on it, meaning you should be using the scroll bar here. Another issue with S60, it's so inconsistent. I mean, it's nice that you're able to copy text, but in general people are going to want to grab the screen and move it, and it just doesn't work that way. Let's take a quick look at the music application, the quick access media button there. Go in landscape mode just so it fits better on the display. And let's just browse through some of the artists I have loaded. Pull up David Bowie and grab one of the songs here so you can see the player. Now when I hit the call in button, we'll go back to the home screen. And you can see that Bowie's song, Breaking Glass, is listed right there on the home screen. And just tap on it to get back into the music player. Normal controls you would expect to find. Look through the menu, see some shuffle options. Repeat play as well. There's an equalizer. A lot of people like to see that. Pick the bass booster option. And go through the other settings as well. Balance, interesting, you don't normally see that. You can turn on the loudness mode. And stereo widening as well. It's only one speaker right there. It's not stereo speakers like we've seen on some of the other S60 touch devices. This is the contacts application. I'm going to create a new contact so you can see what you can do with it. Going to put our buddy John Doe here. You can see separate fields for first and last name. Email addresses, job title, birth dates, anniversaries, street addresses, all sorts of things. You can add additional details. See, there's a lot of options here. That's good enough for now. Go into portrait mode here and show you how the searching function works. Tap here and you can see it only shows the letters that are valid. We don't have anybody starting with the letter F, for example, so there's no F key here. So if we're going to search for John Doe, we hit J and it automatically skips ahead. Now if there were Jim and John, they'd both be listed there until I hit the O key to further refine the search. Pretty nifty system. It's a little bit difficult at times because the letters aren't arranged in the normal way you might expect, and some letters will be missing and stuff like that, but I think it's still a pretty viable system for searching. You can see we've got a 3G connection. It's the first one I've seen on this phone. Not been super impressed with its ability to pull up 3G. Let's see what the YouTube client does while we have 3G. Oh, we're already back down to Edge. And since there's no Wi-Fi on this device, we might not get much out of it in terms of YouTube. There is support for Flash in this browser, so if we have the bandwidth, we'll actually be able to watch the video. Just not sure it's going to be very impressive with only Edge data. Been sitting here for a couple minutes and we still haven't gotten anywhere with the YouTube videos. It looks like I'm not going to be able to demonstrate the phone's Flash capabilities. If you're in a good 3G area though, you can expect to be able to watch YouTube embedded Flash and stuff on the web browser pretty easily. So that's my quick look at the Nokia 5230 Neuron for T-Mobile USA. It's a pretty looking and interesting touchscreen equipped smartphone. Nokia's S60 Touch, which runs on Symbian, has a lot of consistency issues in the user experience though. Whether you can scroll up and down, how you select things, whether you have to tap to select and then tap again to activate. Just a lot of issues like that that can make it quite confusing for somebody to use. I do like the phone, and I liked how the fixed focus camera performs, and really like the video quality. So a good feature set. It's just sometimes a little difficult to coax what you need out of the phone. And 3G reception on this has been really, really poor, in spite of the fact that the Edge reception has worked okay. So it's a little bit tough to recommend. If you're in a good signal strength area, and definitely if you're a fan of S60 devices, this is the way to go. So once again, that's the Nokia 5230 Neuron for T-Mobile USA, and I'm Michael Orrell for MobileBurn.com.